Good morning, everyone. I'm Utsav Shashwat. I'm a postdoctoral fellow in the Nelson Lab here at UC Berkeley. And today, we want to show you or give you a virtual tour of our bench scale reactor that is still under construction, but it's almost there. And, we are hoping that we can run it in the coming weeks. But unfortunately, we couldn't, do like a live demo for it. But nevertheless, I'm going to go through some of the basics, and I'll also give you a tour of the workshop where we are building it, and point out some of the key features of the reactor. So the process that we are using is this three-stage process, and it's mainly ion exchange based. So the first step would be hydrolysis, where the urea in the urine converts into ammonium. And that just happens naturally by giving it sufficient time to rest. So that conversion happens, and that is critical for our process because it's an ion exchange-based process where we want to exploit the positive charge on the ammonium. Because in the second stage, we'll pass the hydrolyzed urine through an ion exchange column, which will have cation exchange resin. So that's where most of the ammonium will be bound. And what you're left with is just a nitrogen deficient reject. After this second stage, which is adsorption based, we'll move on to the third stage, which is elution based. So here we are using different eluents, acid, base, or a salt. And we want to compare the performance of these in terms of eluting out the ammonium into a much concentrated nitrogen-rich liquid. So basically, you start with fresh urine, and at the end of the run, you have ammonium-based fertilizer. This next figure gives you an overall process flow diagram. So there's a lot happening here, but this is how we have designed our reactor. And the main goal of our reactor was to treat a much larger quantity of urine compared to doing lab experiments. And the other was we can automate the process so we can run this for days and weeks. So just let me walk you through this diagram. We'll move from the left to the right. So all the boxes that you are seeing here, they are tanks or columns. So we start with unhydrolyzed urine, and then that urine is moved into 3 of these tanks where the hydrolysis happens. Here, basically, we let the urine sit for 18 to 24 hours to convert the urea into ammonium. Once this is accomplished, we move the urine through the help of these pumps. The PE and the PU represents pumps, and they move into these different ion exchange columns. So in our reactor, we have 4 ion exchange columns, which are, the term that is often used as a merry-go-round configuration, where 3 of the columns at any time will be undergoing adsorption, and the 4th column will undergo regeneration or elution. So by this, we'll make sure that we can continuously run this reactor without stopping it for adsorption and elution. The adsorption can keep on happening as well as the elution. So after a complete run, we should have all of the 4 columns undergone the elution step once. There are other things in it. I don't want to necessarily spend time on it, but I just wanted to give you a brief sense of what's happening. What are the 3 processes that are happening in this reactor? Now we'll actually move to the workshop, and there I'll show you the progress on our reactor and maybe point out some of the things that I highlighted here. Thank you, everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Cara Nelson. I'm a professor here at UC Berkeley in environmental engineering, and we're really excited to show you our bench scale system. We've been working on ion exchange as a way to produce fertilizer from urine for about 10 years now, doing tests at the lab scale, like in benchtop reactors, both here in Berkeley and also in Nairobi, Kenya. And this system here is going to allow us to test how this process will operate continuously and under different configurations where we have multiple columns operating at the same time. So I'm going to turn things over now to Utsav to walk us through how it actually works.
All right, hi everyone. I'm Utsav. I'm a postdoctoral fellow in the Nelson lab. So again, I just wanted to show you the reactor in our workshop. I'll point out some of the main features here. So the first thing that will happen in this reactor is the urine will be collected in this unhydrolyzed urine tank. That's where the urine will come, and this has a capacity of almost 12 to 15 liters. So we can store that and run all of the reactor until all of the urine is used up. Once the urine is stored here, then it's delivered to the hydrolysis tanks. We have 3 hydrolysis tanks on this side, and all of them are controlled by the valves. So depending on which tank we want to fill, we can open the valve. This is one of the main pumps. Once the urine is hydrolyzed in these tanks, then they're delivered to the hydrolyzed urine tank. From there, with the use of pumps and all of the valves that you're seeing here, we deliver the hydrolyzed urine into these ion exchange columns. So this is where the ion exchange resin is packed into these columns. And at a given time, 3 of these columns will be undergoing adsorption, and 1 of them will be undergoing regeneration. And all of the flow of the liquid, which column will undergo which process, will be determined by all of these valves that you're seeing that are numbered. So in total, we have 34 valves in the system. Once the urine is stripped of nitrogen, it moves into one of these 2 tanks. So on this side, we have the waste tank, which is where the residual urine will be delivered. And you can't see the label here, but this is where our fertilizer will be collected once the nitrogen is concentrated in form of a liquid fertilizer. You can also see a lot of the controls that we are still developing, and we are also working on the code. So the final aim is to take all of this and move it into a dedicated control box, and you have these different modes that you can operate the reactor at. So hopefully in the coming weeks we can complete this and do a test run. So thank you for your time.